Relative strength index settings are the reason your momentum signals keep failing, because you are almost certainly still running the default, and the default was never built for day trading. Here is what I mean. You have probably done this. The line pushes up into the overbought zone, you take it as a sell, and price just keeps climbing for another hour without you. Or it dips into oversold, you buy, and it sinks straight through. So you decided the tool is useless. It is not. You were reading it backwards, on numbers built for a different era. No new indicator to install, no paid tool, no guessing, 4 settings, and 1 rule about how to read it. By the end, you will have all 4, including the 4th, an option built right into the panel that almost nobody switches on, which turns this thing from a vague squiggle into an actual trigger. And do not skip to the entry, because it will not make sense until you understand what the tool is really measuring. So let's start there. The relative strength index measures momentum, how fast and how far price has moved recently, on a scale from 0 to 100. High readings mean price ran up hard, low readings mean it fell hard. That is all it is. It is a speedometer, not a crystal ball. Hold on to that, because it is where everyone goes wrong. One thing before we go further, the free trading guide is linked in the description. Grab it and supercharge your strategy. Setting 1, the length. The default is 14, and 14 is slow. It was designed decades ago for daily charts, not for a 5-minute chart where you need to react. Drop it to around 9. The tool becomes far more responsive, reaching the extremes sooner, so your signal arrives while there is still a move left to catch. Be honest about the trade-off though. A shorter length also fires more false signals, because it reacts to every wiggle. 9 is where most active day traders land, fast enough to be useful, not so fast it is pure noise. If you are getting whipsawed in a violent market, nudge it back toward 11. You are choosing where you sit on that trade-off, deliberately. Setting 2, the source. By default, it uses each candle's closing price, and for most traders that is correct. The close is the most meaningful price on any candle, because it is what the market agreed on when the candle ended. But there is a quiet tweak worth knowing. Switch the source to the average of the high, low, and close, and the line smooths out, jumping around far less on spiky candles. If your momentum line looks jagged on a fast time frame, that change calms it without slowing the length. Setting 3, the levels. By default, the horizontal lines sit at 70 and 30. Think about those differently, depending on the day. In a choppy sideways market, pull them into 75 and 25, even 80 and 20, so you only get a signal at a genuine extreme, and you filter the noise out. In a strong trend, the opposite problem appears. The tool will scream overbought and stay pinned there for hours while price keeps climbing, so the extremes become useless, and you lean on the next setting instead. The levels are not sacred. They are a dial you set to match the market in front of you. And setting 4. This is the one sitting right there in the panel, switched off, that almost nobody touches. There is a smoothing option that lays a moving average directly on top of the momentum line itself. Turn it on, set the type to exponential, set its length to around 9. What you now have is a signal line, exactly like the one on the moving average convergence divergence tool. 2 lines instead of 1, raw momentum, and its own smoothed average. And that changes everything, because now you have a mechanical trigger instead of a judgment call. When the fast line crosses back above its own average from down in the low zone, momentum has genuinely turned, not flickered, turned. That single toggle is the difference between guessing and having a rule. So the 4 are set. Now the rule about reading it, and it is the opposite of what most people do. Never sell simply because the line is overbought. Never buy simply because it is oversold. In a strong uptrend, momentum can sit pinned in the overbought zone for the entire move. Short every overbought reading and you are stepping in front of a freight train, over and over. Overbought does not mean sell, it means momentum is strong. Here is how you actually use it. 2 setups, and both read the tool with the trend rather than against it. The first is divergence, and it is the strongest signal this tool produces. Divergence is when price makes a new high, but the momentum line makes a lower high. Price is pushing up, but the engine behind it is fading. The car is still rolling forward while it runs out of fuel. That gap is your early warning that the move is tired. When you see it, you get ready, then wait for the signal line cross to confirm. Price says up, momentum says weakening, the cross says now. The second is the with trend pullback, and this is your bread and butter. In a clean uptrend, you wait for price to pull back and the momentum line to cool off toward the middle, around 40. Then you wait for it to turn and cross back above its signal line. You are buying a dip in an uptrend, using momentum to time the exact moment buyers step back in. That is the highest percentage way to use this tool. Full stop. Let me put one together. You are in an uptrend on the 5-minute chart. Price pulls back, the line slides from 70 down toward 40. You do nothing, you wait. Then it turns and crosses back above its smoothed line. That is your trigger. You enter, stop just below the pullback low, target the prior high. The trend gave you direction, momentum timed the entry, the cross pulled the trigger. Now the mistake, and you already know what it is. Trading every extreme reading you see. The tool will hand you a dozen overbought and oversold signals a day, and the overwhelming majority are noise in a trending market. Take the divergences and the with-trend pullbacks. Ignore everything else. Fewer signals, better ones. So, what could that realistically do? Let's use arithmetic. Say those filters give you 2 clean setups a day. You risk $100 each, and you win a little over half at 2 to 1. That is roughly $120 a day, so somewhere around $2,400 a month once you are consistent, and it grows with your account. Not from taking more trades, from taking better ones. And here is where we go next. Divergence deserves its own video, because it is the one signal from this tool worth building an entire strategy around. So next I'm breaking it down completely. How to spot a real one, and how to avoid the fakes that trap everybody. I'll see you there.